Norming customer variable and customer role is an advanced workflow feature. You can use MS Circle queries to create variables or roles that does not exist in the standard workflow. This feature is very powerful and flexible. If you can learn it, you can use this tool to meet clients' all approval requirements. Now I will show you the real use case, how you can use this tool in your workflow. Previously, we have a requirement from the client. They are using norming expenses with project and job costing. And they would like the project manager instead of the contract manager to approve on the expenses. Let's look at the workflow. In expense workflow, let's insert one approval step. If you are using standard role, you can only use a contract manager instead of the project manager. Let's check the contract manager in PGC contract maintenance. In PGC contract, you only have contract manager, but you cannot find the manager at project level. So the solution we provided is to use an optional field at the project level. In this case, in each project, you can specify a project manager with the norming resource manager user ID. And you can create an MS Circle query to get the optional field value. Program will know who will be the next approver. Let's look at the customer variable. With this query, you can get the project's optional field value. Once the customer variable been added, you can add it to the workflows. We can add it to the expense workflow. You can use the variable in a decision. Click in the process ID. Under the standard variables, you will see the customer variable. Double-click, you can use the variable in your conditions. To test the variable, we can submit a new expense report on ESS. Go to Expenses, Create New. We can select a job-related expense report with that variable we just created. Now let's add 3 projects. The first project, 1001. Copy and add another project, 1002, then the third project. Now let's save it. For testing purposes, you can run the Circle script in your database. Copy and paste the script to the database. The document number will be passed to the MS Circle query when you submit or approve the expenses. Replace the document number. The document number here is 116. We have 3 detailed lines. Let's replace the line number as well. Copy and paste for 3 detailed lines. Now if you run the query, you can get the approver's name. Let's go back to the optional fields again to double confirm. This is the project manager for the first project, and that's the second. And we don't have approver for the third project. If you look at the decision, if the project manager has not been specified, it needs to be approved by 100 and 130. Let's submit the expense and see. Here are the three approvers we need. 1020 is brain, 1030, and 1130. To create a customer variable, you simply need to write a SQL query with the document number and line number. Now let's see how to use the customer role. The customer role can be used in the workflow to determine the approvers. Take AP invoice as example. We can use a query to get the GL segment from an invoice requisition. If the segment code is 100, then we can have approver assigned. We can use the query to get the segment codes for all detailed lines and to determine the approver. The document number and line number, similar to the customer variable, can be passed from the requisition to the SQL query. You can use the variables on the right hand of the screen. The document number and line number will be replaced by the actual numbers when you submit or approve the requisition. You can assign the customer role into the workflow. Go to the web portal and let's test for the customer role. Create a new AP invoice. Select a vendor. We can have one segment code with 100. And another segment code with 200. And another one without segment code. Let's save it. Add the invoice number. Save it. And we can copy the query. Replace the document number. And line number here. Copy and paste for 3 lines. This is for the second and third line. Run the query and check the customer role here. We get the approver as expected. The segment code for the first line is 100 and the approver is 1020. The second line segment is 200 and the approver is 1030. If there is no segment code, it goes to 1050. Now let's submit. We have 20, 30, and 50 as the approvers. The key to use the customer variable and customer role The key is you have to know how to use a SQL query to get the information you need for the variable and for the customer role with the document number and line number.